Hello, everyone. I'm waiting for few more members to join, then we'll begin our webinar for today. It's nice to see all of your bright faces. All right, so I think most of you have settled in quite nicely, so we can begin today's webinar, right? So many things to share, so many new updates as usual. Okay, so welcome once again, everyone. Thank you very much for joining. My name is Varun Krishna, and as always, I will be walking all of you through our new updates, enhancements, and some of the issues that we have resolved, small buts, as always. So we'll be discussing about a lot of things. We're waiting for more updates in the coming weeks as well. So first of all, I'll be guiding all of you into our release note page, and we'll be beginning from there. All right, if you're having any doubts, anything to share with me, you can always write it down in the chat box. We have a Q&A box also. If you're having any particular question regarding the software or anything to be specific regarding any of the updates, you can type it down in the Q&A box also. There's another space available for everyone. If my audio or video is having any issues, kindly make sure that I take a notice of it. For the same, you can use any reaction icons as well. So we'll keep such kind of a flow during the session. All right, if there's any doubts or something, you can use the raise hand option as well. Anything will work for me for getting my attention. All right, so we'll get started. We'll first of all go into our software. Yes, here we are. And let me first of all guide all of you into we'll go to our release notes first. So what was released on 9th of September? I mean, this month itself. So today we'll be discussing about the sleek reports that we're working on implementing a different style of template for our reports, existing reports and reports which are yet to come. And then we'll be taking a look into control the flow, how users can now restrict other users or administrators can restrict other users from sharing build. There are a lot of nitty-gritties involved there, so we'll be taking a look into that as well. Next, mass management magic. So we have implemented a bulk delete and a bulk update option into the customers module or into that section, and we'll be discussing about that. Now, a few of our enhancements, crystal clear reports. We have added commas to the footer columns in reports. It's a very small update, but we have made something which is already existing in a system into a much more neat manner. Then we have dynamic billing. So toggling discount options are now available during build creation itself. Now, if we can work out few additional things with the help of specialized forms. Next one is customize tax preferences. So how can this work? Now, earlier, or even right now, the way in which we set our default tax method, whether it is inclusive or exclusive, was the decision was made organization-wide or company-wide. Now, right now, when we go to a customer creation option, we have this tax method option to be chosen. So we can toggle it there also. I'll be showing you that. The next enhancement is a detailed PDF template. So we can take advantage of a template builder V2, and we've added a new feature there. A new input, like the conversion from and the conversion to detail can now be added into the bills. So I'll show you how we can do that. Refreshed banking UI. So the UI, the way in which the banking list that we can see, we get an expanded view of what all details are being associated with such kind of a bank account. The UI has been changed. A few minor issues that we have resolved, like the tax label transparency, where we have fixed the missing tax label before the bill name, especially in credit note, debit note, and purchase bill. Then we have the project integration. The project dropdown is working pretty well right now when we are trying to create a new purchase order. The search perfection, we have added much further perfection. That was not an issue. We have added further perfection in the way in which items are searched when it comes to our reports, especially when it comes to filters in our reports. All right. So these were some of the new updates. Now, there are a few enhancements that we have made. This enhancement has been made as a continuous process based on some of the updates that we have brought in our previous release. So I'll be combining that and I'll be explaining about the enhancements also. So you can get a grand scale of things and how we can combine those updates and this week's enhancement. We can couple them together and we'll try to, make a use case out of it and we'll work it out like that. All right, so we will start with sleek reports. So what is the specialty of sleek reports here? So experience the new look and feel of our ledger reports. So we have introduced this modern aesthetics with respect to our ledger reports. So sleek aesthetics of EalSuite's PDF template. And we have a much more better visibility as well. So I'll show you how when we download those data, how the PDF view is going to look like. So we'll go back. We are right now in the dashboard of our software. And let's select the reports section. Now, we were speaking about the ledger part, right? So we'll go to all ledger report. And okay, so we have set the date for 23rd. And this is all ledger. So these are the two filters right now. So we'll just update it. And you can see this list, right? We have so many different groups, fixed assets, indirect expenses, and the amount associated with it as well. So we can scroll it down. See, now there are some of we'll first of all look into some of the export mechanisms that we have. And we have we can copy it, then we can export it as Excel format. A CSV format is available in PDF format, or we can simply print it out as well. So right now I'm going to export this whole view in a PDF format. So see, when I download it, the detail. So date has been filtered. A filter is applied for date and it is shown. Then sorting is also being done in terms of accounts. And how is it being done? It is being done in an ascending manner. So both of these details, see, this is account, then group, and we have amount. We have three different columns of field present for all ledgers right now. If you want to add, you will be able to find the different fields or columns that we can further add into it. Right now, these three fields are available. So all ledger is a group right now. I have selected now. I can select direct income or direct expense or anything like that, and maybe again filter. Here, accounts is being sorted in the ascending manner itself. Now, I'll do it in the descending manner. The date, let's keep the date on 23rd of this month. Now I can again export it in a PDF format. When I click here, you can see that the sorting of accounts is now being changed into descending and it's being shown. The next one, filtered data is again filtered for 23rd of this particular month. And right now I've added another further filter. It's not all ledgers right now. It is not all groups. It's direct expense, specifically from the group field or the column. So such kind of details can be provided. And here you can see it's a sleek view, right? The view has also been improved. So it's another thing. So that is regarding the all ledger report. Now we'll be moving forward implementing the same format is implemented in other reporting section as well, but we will be implementing it entirely all throughout our system. So that is the advantage. Maybe we can go a little deeper as well if you want to. I'll just show something else. Under all ledger itself, maybe I can select an account like advanced paid, because then we have another further filter coming here, right? We can choose that. Let's do one thing for co-sender. I'm going to keep it as all co-sender itself, and the date, maybe we can add some more transactions here. Maybe I'll keep it as this fiscal. Okay, so we have a bunch of transactions. So we're here. Now, we can export it. See what's happening. The ledger is now advanced paid, and the filter applied is for date is within 01/01/23 to 31/12/23. So for this fiscal. So all of those sorting details, filter details, everything will be present at the very top of the PDF which is being exported, and everything else can be viewed in a sleek manner. So that is our new update. So I hope this is clear. Yes. We'll place this here and we'll move back to our PPT. The next feature update is control the flow. So tighten your approval process by restricting users from sharing bills until they are approved, right? So which ensures control over the cash flow. This can provide enhanced security and also an efficient workflows. So we'll take a look into this. Right now, we're speaking exclusively about the approval process. And for that, again, we can move to our settings section. Now, the approval part. The approval part comes under company setup. Here, you can see approval. Now, first of all, let me show you in which all modules this approval feature is applicable to. So it starts from quotation, sales order, pro forma, and we have a bunch of modules this is applicable to. And ending with purchase receipt, debit note, and warehouse transfer. So right now I'll be showing you the example with the help of invoice. Here, let me select invoice, and you can see that there's an option to enable invoice approvals. So if I check it here, you have enabled approvals. So there's another option, and I'll be speaking about that later, that is to restrict sharing of invoice. Let's keep it aside for now, and let's take a look into the approval value and the approver. So I'm going to keep my name itself as the approver. So there's another question like anyone can approve, or will it be multiple approvers? So you can choose whichever option that you want to choose based on your use case and requirement. Right now, I'm only going to choose anyone can approve, and my name is going to be there. Maybe I can put in Pradeep as well. So both of us can approve. If any one of us approves it, the invoice is going to get approved. And yeah, so let me submit it. So the invoice approval has been updated. So the change is being saved. Now I'll show you one more thing. Let me duplicate this. I'm not going to keep it in invoice. I'm going to go to warehouse transfer. So under warehouse transfer also, this warehouse transfer approval is right now enabled. But there's a difference between some of the options available under the invoice module and under the warehouse transfer module. So what's the difference here? We know that invoices, quotation, sales order, pro forma, credit notes, all of these things can be shared from our system, but warehouse transfer detail, there is no requirement or use case of sharing this, right? So the sharing, restricting sharing of invoice SP, that won't be present. All the rest of the options will be present. So there's a difference. Now, like I told you, we'll be looking into restrict sharing of invoice right now. But before that, let's work out what the change is with regards to invoice. So we can go to our sales module and I'll be creating a new invoice just like this. So let's select a user. Now, let me add few items or products. I'm going to add 3. Yes, the quantity is going to remain 1 itself. I'm not going to change it. And here, let these be the prices. So including that, we have a total amount also. You can see the subtotal value. We have 130. Now we have the VAT applied and the total value is 136.50, right? So what I can do is I can click on save. Now what happens? It comes in and we need to approve it. So who can approve it? I can approve it because that was set by me because I have the full administrator access here. So I can click on here and approve it, or I can go to final approval here also. And the customer has overdue invoices. So that's fine. Oh, it is showing the customer has overdue invoices. So we won't be able to approve it. We'll do one thing in order to make this work. We'll try to create another invoice with another customer, like, yeah, RKM Buildings. I'm going to select this one. And let this be the price. So we have the total amount of 10.50. Let me save it. Again, it is showing as customer has overdue invoices. Okay, that won't be an issue. So presently, I'm rejecting it. Yeah, fine. So I've rejected it. If you want to approve, you can approve it as well. No issues. So this is one way of doing things. Now, I can submit for final approval. I can do it if I'm rejecting it. That can also be possible. The thing to notice here is that which are the different options available to us. So we have the submit for approval option. We have the PDF option. We can view it. We can download it in different templates. We can edit it. We can attach different documents here. And we have the log. We have the print option. And we have the share option as well. Now, let me do one thing. There will be some of the invoices which may have been okay. So we are under invoice once again. This is waiting approval. There are few invoices which was already approved. So I'll just show that. Yeah, this one was approved by me, approved by Varun Krishna itself. So maybe I can go to logs, and yes, it was created on 20th September and it was later approved by me. So fine with that. This was an invoice which was approved. So under an approved one, you can see here, it's still an unpaid invoice. The redeem credit, then we have the payments option. We can mark it as published or cancelled. Then again, I talked about the PDF, the edit. I can write off it as well, the attachment, the log option, the print option, as well as the share option as well. So this was one of the invoices which was approved. This was one of the invoices which was rejected. So under the rejected one, we have submit for approval, PDF, edit, attachment, logs, print, share. All of this. Now the question is, can I share this right now? Absolutely, I can share it because there are different ways to share it. We can take a printout, or maybe you can export it in a PDF manner, download it in a PDF manner, or you can directly share using the unique bill method. Everything is possible. Now, the next question is, even when approval is being set, can I share it? any user can share it. So absolutely, I'm creating a new invoice. I'm just going to add a single product here and clicking on save. See, even when it is waiting for approval, the user can share it, right? Have different options here. Under PDF, you can download it. He or she can download it, or directly sharing is also enabled. But uh, imagine a case in which our administrator, or there's a company policy that without approval, the user should not share it. I mean, let's keep it as a policy itself. Then how can we restrict somebody from sharing this? And that was the option I was talking about earlier. So under the approval section, under invoices, you can see restrict sharing of invoices. You can enable it, right? And clicking on submit, a new change is saved right now. Now the next question is what happens? See, this is not yet approved, but we have the share option. Now keep this in mind. I'm going to come here. I'm going to create new invoice. Again, I'm selecting the customer. A new invoice can be created. I'm clicking on save. See, there are two options which are missing. And that are, so yes, the PDF option as well as the share option. You can see the difference here. There is no PDF option. We cannot download it, right? We cannot download it into a local device. We cannot view it in that way also. And we cannot share it using our unique bill. So both of these can be restricted if we are enabling the restrict sharing of invoice. Now, this is applicable to all the different bills that can go out of the system or out of the software. But for warehouse transfer, you won't be able to. For modules like warehouse transfer, you won't be able to see the restrict sharing of invoice. So that is the way an administrator can restrict any users from sharing any of the invoices. And if the company-wide policy has been made that each and every bill that has been created needs to be approved by a user, by a master user, then that can also be enabled right now using our approval feature. So you simply have to go to the company setup under approvals. This is possible. All right, so that was another new update, a wonderful update, a very useful update, I would say. Let's go back to our PPT now. The third update, that is mass management magic. So this is very simple. We have introduced the bulk delete as well as the bulk update option under customers. So how can we work it out? We need to go to customers under the sales module. Now you can see a list of customers here, right? So, okay. So we look at the view like this. Let me select 5 customers right now, right? You can see the checkbox here. You need to have this checkbox. Otherwise, you will have to go to the view and you will have to edit the view and introduce a checkbox here. So I have selected few customers right now. Yes, let it stay like this. We have the proper view right now. Now we can go to options and you can see a bulk delete. So you click on bulk delete and it is being shown that you cannot delete any of these customers because we have dependency found with all of these customers in one way or another. It could be related to invoice, credit notes, journals, something like that. So for all of them. So if when I click on delete, I won't be able to delete anything. 0 records were deleted. So is it possible to delete anything? Yes, you will be able to. You will be able to delete it, but the issue is that, okay, sorting it like this, maybe related to all of these customers, we'll be having something associated. Now we have almost, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna select any one and we'll see if we'll be able to delete any one of them. Bulk delete. Okay, we have 13 customers that we have selected, and associated to 12 of them, we have dependencies found. So here are the dependencies. So if you want to delete any of the customer in such cases, you will have to go to those modules, you will have to delete if it's an invoice, a quotation, a pro forma, a journal, an expense, or something like that. You will have to first of all edit it or delete it. It depends on the permission that you have, and it depends upon what the system provides in a default manner. So here, as you can see, that only one record will be deleted. One record was deleted. So that is one of the options, right? Now, what can we do with bulk update? What all can we do with bulk update? So I'm going to the primary view, and here the sorting is with respect to date, and we will take a look into the state. So we have a bunch of customers here who doesn't have any detail added under the state column or the state field. So we'll select few of them. Yes. 2, 3, 4, 5. And here it is. Now I want to update the state field. So bulk update, we come down to state/region. Now I want to update it. What can be the name given? So Hajar is the state I'm going to provide. Let me click on submit. 5 customers updated, and let us see. Yes, all of them are updated right now. Now a question arises now, once updated, can I change it? Can I change any of those values? Let's do one thing, we'll test it out with the same example itself, the same selected 5 customers. Again, we can bulk update. I'm again go to the same field itself, state/region. And for Hajar, I'm gonna get qual, and let me submit it. Let's see the difference, and yes, the state is again changed, and right now the updated state is qual. So the possibility is that if you already have nothing while creating the customer, you can do one thing, you can update it, you can add a detail there. If you want to modify it, right, if there is existing data present there, if you want to modify it, that can also be done. So that is all about the bulk update and the bulk delete option that we have introduced under customers. All right, so those 3 were our new feature updates. So I'm sure that you're all clear with this. If you're further having any doubts, you can ask me in the chat. I'll be catering to it, or we have a dedicated support team present also. They'll also be looking into your questions, and after the webinar also, you'll have plenty of chance to communicate with them. All right, so next, first enhancement, crystal clear reports. So we understand the importance of clear and concise information, and for that purpose and for enhancing our readability, we have introduced commas to the footer columns in your reports. So it's much neat right now. Let's go to the report section, and daybook, a balance sheet, and a customer due statement. I'm going to select 3 different types of reports here. Okay, let's see a high value. Last physical I'm going to put. So if you put the filter, this physical, yeah, this physical, good. So let's come down and see the value. So we have the comma here. And next, I'm gonna go to balance sheet and see. Under balance sheet, this is readily visible when we are talking about a very high value. like this much. And if you're talking about a very high value like this much, now this will depend. The commas, the positioning, and everything will be depending upon which currency you're using. Right now, I'm using an instance where the default currency is Indian rupees. Now, what happens? All of those instances are here. I can go to. Yes, right now I'm in another instance which has the default currency in AED, in dirhams. So maybe I'll select balance sheet once again. Now let me select the daybook itself, and I'll show you this physical all group filter. And yes, we have a huge value here. So the place values are different sometimes, and that will be depending upon your selected currency and the corresponding place values. All right. So this commas, I think the readability has increased. Okay. So yes, fine. So that was all about crystal clear reporting. The next one is dynamic billing. So flexible discount options. We had preferences for different kinds of discounts, like what kind of discount that you want to give. We already had preference for that, but earlier it was very limited. In the previous release, we enhanced it. The difference was that we have introduced 3 different types of discounts, and we have introduced it into each and every module where it was completely independent from the other. Now, let me explain it like this. Earlier on, the discount preference was also set globally or organization wide. So if you wanted to change it for one specific bill, that was possible, but it will be changed for all of the bills that you're using. For example, first of all, I'll speak about the new update, then we'll go back and we'll continue that discussion. So flexible discount options take advantage of toggling the discount option during bill creation itself. So that is the new enhancement, providing you with more flexibility. Now, user level customization can be made with the help of forms. Now, we'll be speaking about that as well. So let's do one thing. We'll go to settings and the discount preferences option here. So earlier we had discount preferences, but that was not like this. It was just a discount method that you have to choose for your organization. And if the situation comes in which you have to provide if you're providing line-wise discount or bill-wise before tax for a quotation, and a situation comes in which you have to provide an invoice in which the discount method will be bill-wise after tax, then what you have to do, you have to come to the discount preferences, you have to change it. But the very next time when you're trying to create another quotation, see the discount method is changed. It will be for bill-wise after tax. Why? Because you have already made the change for invoice. So it was like the discount method was like dependent on all of those bills. If one gets changed, the change gets reflected to other module as well. Now, in the last release, the change that we have made is that we have brought in discount preferences and we have placed it individually for individual modules, right? So if you want to keep it as line-wise for quotation, and if you want to keep it as sales order, bill-wise before tax for sales order and bill-wise after tax for a delivery note or for an invoice, you'll be able to do that. And simultaneously, you will be able to create 3 different bills with 3 different discount methods. This is possible right now. And this is also possible in a different way, where let me just again go to invoice. And while creating a new invoice, Let me show you this. You see bill-wise after tax. Another update is that we have introduced this discount method field, and we have an option to toggle it right here itself while creating the invoice or while creating the bill itself. I can select line-wise, bill-wise before tax, bill-wise after tax. Let me just show you. This is just a continuation uh, uh, of what we did in the previous release. So I'm going to keep it right now as bill-wise itself, and I'll be selecting multiple. And for price, I'm going to keep it as just for calculation, for being much more comfortable with the calculation. That's it. Subtotal is 710 right now. So I'm going to keep it as 400. So let me see what that subtotal is. Yes, the subtotal value is 1000. Let me keep it as line wise. So what's the advantage of line wise discount? I can provide discount like this. I can give 40 here. I'm going to give it a 10 here and a 70. Okay. So we have a total discount of 120. And so yes, 250, 350, that was 10,000. And a discount applicable. Okay, VAT has been applied. So based on that also, the discount gets affected. Yes. So the important thing is that the discount method, I can change it bill-wise before tax. So we'll not be able to make the change here. What I have to do is see bill-wise before tax and VAT comes up here and the discount amount can be fixed here. Discount amount has been fixed. So we have the total value then, and then VAT gets applied on it, and we get the total value as 945. If I can again toggle it, it's my decision. So bill-wise after tax and VAT comes up here. So we have the subtotal value plus the VAT amount has been added, and then I apply the discount. And so there's of course going to be change if I'm toggling with this, right? Now, let's talk about a situation in which the company has decided the user who's going to create the invoice does not or should not make such kind of a decision. You don't want to make such kind of a decision based on the discount method. It has been decided by the company itself, and you want to fix it. You're not providing any permission for a user to change it. So what can you do? And this is where our form feature comes into picture. So in such situations, you can go to settings, and under general preferences, we have forms. We can go to invoices. I'm going to select the first invoice itself because that's what we were using last time. So you see the discount method has been enabled here, right? Okay, so I'm going to disable it. Or let's take a situation in which we're just assigning this particular form to Shamir. And for Shamir, we are keeping it as discount method, we are disabling it. Or we can do that. Or for the entire staff, we can keep it like this. And for this particular form, we can disable it. Let me submit it. And we can go back to this particular invoice creation page. You see the form which I have chosen, invoice, that's the one I have edited. If I reload it, you won't be able to see this discount method field while creating the new invoice. The form is there, and yes, while creating, you're not able to see. So the user does not have to make the decision, or we're not providing, or in another way, we can say that we're not providing any permission for the user to make such kind of a decision, or even toggle it, or even change it according to his or her convenience. So in such use cases, you will be able to utilize the form feature along with the discount method and the newly introduced discount preference that we have bought in the last two releases. So I hope this is clear to everyone, the way in which we can use it. And I think a very good workflow can be introduced. All right, so that was all about Here it is. So that is all about the dynamic billing part. The next one is a customized tax preferences. So individual tax method can be opted right now while creating customers. So the next question is like, okay, earlier, how was this happening? Earlier, tax preferences or tax method, whether it was inclusive or exclusive, was again set company-wide. The decision was made for the company, for the organization. Organization what? For any individual customer that you're creating, it can either be inclusive or exclusive. Why? Because let me show you how this is set under organization setup. If you come down, there will be a default. I mean, here you will be able to have the company name, address, city, state, postal code, the country, billing address, and then you could see the default option for selecting the tax method. So right now it is set tax inclusive. So for any customer that you're creating, what you have to do, I'm going to select the form for customer itself, the first form itself. Not going to change that. I'm going to create a new customer called hashtag, and none of the other fields are set mandatory here. I can add the TRN also. You see the tax method, it's already set to inclusive. So earlier, while you're creating a customer, we never had this. We never had this tax method there. So any of the user, even if it be an administrator itself, even if you're creating a new customer, you have to go with what the company has already decided. Right now, you imagine a use case like this. If you're creating a new customer and imagine you're dealing with a B2C customer and a B2B business you have. In a B2B case, maybe you have decided that company-wise, you have decided that this is our major, business audience, and we'll be setting it as tax inclusive. But sometimes you're coming across few B2C customers also, and in such kind of situation that you're not putting all your baskets in tax inclusive. You're sometimes giving it as tax exclusive. So in such cases, you had to go to your organization settings, and while creating the customer, you had to change it. Now the issue is, imagine you're not an administrator, you don't have access to the settings features. You won't be able to change it. You need to have the permission first of all. So you'll have to communicate with it. If you're any of the sub user, you'll have to communicate with it with the administrator, get the permission. You won't be able to get the permission. You will have to ask the administrator to change it for that particular instance and create the new customer in a tax exclusive manner, provide all the bills and everything, and then again ask the administrator to go back there under the organization setup and change it once again. It's a very tedious process, right? So right now we have included the tax method field here itself. So any sub user, you will be able to make the decision at that time itself. You don't have to include the your administrator there. I mean, the decision has to come from the organization, obviously, but you don't have to include your administrator there. So that can be put aside, and it's up to you for the sub user to decide and create the new customer. So that is the major advantage of such kind of tax method toggling option availability, which comes under customers helps us. That's the use case. Okay, so let me close this. We're returning back to dashboard. So that was all about the customized tax preferences. So you have the option to select whether it is tax inclusive or exclusive while creating the customer itself. Next enhancement is a detailed PDF templates. So we're all much used to the template builder V2, but there are different options out there. So we've introduced a new option also. What does the new option showcase? It showcases both conversion from and conversion to detail on your bills in PDF. So does this improve anything? Absolutely. It provides a reference from which it has been converted from, and from to which it has been converted to. So we'll be selecting such kind of a bill and we'll be working it out like that. First of all, let's do one thing. We'll go to the template builder view. And for that, we can go to settings, and under other preferences, we can see template builder v2. So we have a bunch of templates here to work with. Let's do one thing. We'll select a sales order. Yeah. So we have 3 sales order templates. This one is default. So I'm going to select both of these, and we'll first of all look into what the change is and how we can enable it, and how in each of those bills we'll be able to work it out. The change has been introduced, or the position where the change has been introduced comes under the header and footer section. Here, if you come down, you could see the conversion details. See the conversion detail. So in this particular template, I'm going to enable the conversion detail. And for this one, let us see whether it is enabled or not. It is not enabled. So these are the 2 different sales order I'm going to work with right now. Let it stay here itself. We'll come back, and under sales, we'll go to a specific. We'll go to some early. Yeah, I know about the sales order, because the sales order, yeah, it has been converted to. This has been converted to this particular invoice, or maybe I can select another sales order. Let's select our first sales order itself, and let's see if there's any converted from. Yes, this has been converted to, and converted from, converted to a delivery note, and converted from a quotation. Right. So we have the sales order here, converted to, converted from, and the template builders and everything. So for this sales order, 2 views is possible. One more. Yes. So here, you cannot see any converted to or converted from, right? You're not able to see that. But here you are able to see converted from and converted to. So that is the difference. So how can we enable this? All you have to do is go to template builder v2 and select the particular template that you want to make this change. And under header and footer section, you will be able to find conversion detail. Should you enable it or not? And you can click on it and you can save it. And then it gets reflected. All right. Yes. So let me just close all these tabs. So that is all about the template builder v2 and the conversion visibility. And the final enhancement is the refreshed banking UI. So what's with the refreshed banking UI? I'll just show it to you. We can get the banking details by going into accounting, banking. And here you have 3 different banks that are created. See, earlier it was not like this. Maybe I'll be able to show it under this instance. I go to banking. And yes, this was ADIB Bank was created long before. And you can see none of those details were added, but this was the view. None of the other detail was not available. You won't be able to see the account number, contact person, phone, anything like that. None of that will be available. So I'm going to come here and I'll show it to you. I'll create a new account. Account title, HNCV Bank. Not going to put any narration. The currency is going to stay there. Let me add an account number and Kelvin. Phone number with the extension. URL I'm not going to provide. It has to be a correct URL, otherwise. Yeah. So yes, the HNCV bank that I've created right now, the account number, the contact person, the phone number, and even the the URL will also be visible here, but you have to give the correct URL because they'll be checking it. The system will be checking it. If there's any error, it will be showing that there's an error. So it will be kept blank. So that's the reason why I didn't add anything there right now. So while you're creating a credible bank, a real genuine bank, you will be able to provide the correct bank website URL there. Yes. So the next question is like, if I edit something, will that also going to come here? So yes, I can edit the account number. I'll be editing the account number, submit. Yes, the change has been made for Jane Bank as well. So the UI is improved, right? All of those details. While you get into this page itself, you can simply confirm whether your account number is correct or if there's any change that has been made. And be completely visible here. And all of those details regarding the bank can be collected from this view itself, rather than going in and checking it out. All right. So that was another enhancement that we had. So that was one of the final enhancements that we had. That is a refreshed banking UI. Next, we will be looking into some of the small bugs or issues that we have resolved. The first one is the tax label transparency. Say goodbye to confusion that we have fixed the missing tax label before the bill names like credit note, debit note, and purchase bill. Now let me show it to you. So first of all, we'll go to credit note, and then let me select a credit note here. And if I go to PDF and when we look into view, okay, I've made some changes here. So we'll come down here and we'll look into a credit note under this instance. So here, UPDF, yes, you can see tax credit note. This is required, right? So in which all section that we have introduced it? We have introduced it in debit note, credit note, and purchase bill. So I'll close this. So sales, and now this is applicable under the purchase bills and debit note. So we come down here and we will first of all take a look into UPDF. Again, the view for that particular one. Yes, tax purchase. No, what I did was I selected a different template. I just opted for a different bill also. Yes, so I can close this. Now, here under the debit note, under view PDF, yes, tax debit note. So the tax portion, we fixed the missing tax label before the bill name, credit note, debit note, and purchase bill. So everything is tax enabled for tax enabled nations. So that is really important. The next one is seamless project. Your project list while creating the purchase order. So we'll again try to create a purchase order and we'll see whether that bug was fixed. So we have a purchase order here under the purchase section, and while creating a new one, let's select a supplier. Yes, the project drop down. So we can see all the different bunch of projects that we have under this particular branch, and we'll be able to select any of those projects. You can select your corresponding projects and you can work it out like that. That is possible. The issue was fixed there. And the final one, that is a search perfection. Faced issues when searching for items in report filter with multiple words. Now, that has also been resolved. This one is pretty simple. We can go to our report section, and under the inventory section, maybe item wise, item sale, or item wise. profit or maybe a stock in report. I'll go to a stock in report right now. The date filter is set, all item group, and under all items, or before that, let's do one thing. We'll go to inventory. Yeah, I'll do one thing. We'll go to items and I'll just select iPhone. You can see all of these phones. These are the name of the items present corresponding to iPhone. So when I search iPhone, I get this. These are the different iPhones present. And we go to stock in, and you see iPhone is present. I'm going to put it as IPHO and then a Pro. See, iPhone Pro. So wherever there is Pro and wherever there is IPHO as a single, term, you will be able to match it while you're searching. So that is the advantage of this particular way of. So the way in which the search mechanism works under the item section is a little bit different to what we do overall within our system. So we have enhanced that as well. So this was not an issue. We have enhanced the way in which the search mechanism works. Okay, so yes, that was the final issue that was resolved. So let me just take you all once again back into each of the feature updates and enhancements. We have introduced a modern aesthetic to the ledger reports view, especially when we download it. We will be getting all the information like the way in which we have filtered, the different sorting that we have provided at the very top of the PDF itself. It provides a clear visibility to us. Then we have the approval process. Now we can restrict the users from sharing the bills which are not approved. And you saw different options available to us under the approval feature as well. Then we have the mass management magic when it comes to the customers module. We have introduced the bulk delete and the bulk update option. Then we have the report visibility. We have introduced commas to the footer columns in our reports. Then we have the dynamic billing option. That is, we can set the discount preferences. We can toggle with discount options during bill creation itself. And if you want to restrict any users from using that, then we can do that by editing any of the forms and disabling it for those forms. And we can assign it to that particular user as well. Then we have the customized tax preferences. Earlier tax preferences was chosen company-wide. Even right now, when the company makes a difference that for a selected customer, you need to change it. You have to go to organization settings and then change it, then create the customer, then return back to the settings option and again change it back to the original way. Right now, if you're making some kind of an exception or we have an exceptional case for any of the customers, what can you do? You can make the change while creating the customer itself. We can toggle it as tax inclusive or exclusive. Then we have the detailed PDF templates. We have introduced a conversion visibility where it will be showcasing a conversion from and a conversion to detail for all your bills in PDF. Then we have the refresh banking UI. I told you we can just go to the bank detail bank list itself, and you'll be able to see the account details, the person that you want to contact to, phone number, even the banking URL. If you have provided is correct, you'll be able to see that. Then we talked about 3 small minor issues that we have resolved during this release. So talking about the enhancements and features, that's all I have to discuss. Now it's your flow. If you're having any questions, we have the Q&A section. You will be able to ask your questions there, or we have the chat also open. You will be able to ask it. You can use the raise hand option. Then I'll be catering to your questions. And you can also use the reaction icons if everything is okay and you're not having any more doubts. I'm going to give you a little time to analyze what you saw right now and then make a decision. All right. Thank you for your questions. So I'll be saying goodbye once again. Thank you everyone for attending this webinar. So I'm sure that you got a clear picture on what the latest updates are. If there's any more doubts, we have our support team. You will be able to contact them, reach out to them, and ask whatever questions that you're having, and we will be providing a detailed reply to it. And once again, thank you for considering EalSuite. Just keep this in your mind that bi-weekly we'll be releasing updates. Stay tuned for that. Try to use it and also attend our webinar so that we can get a clear view of what was the idea while releasing this particular feature, and have you planned out any further enhancements to this, which are the use cases applied to those releases and everything. So we'll be ending the meeting like that. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much once again for joining it. We'll meet again in a few days with our new updates. Bye.